guys, and welcome to the 41st episode of Unstoppable Equestrian. I'm Danielle Pools from Dressage Plus. So last weekend I finally got back out in the competition arena, in the official competition arena, and it was a long time coming for me and I was super excited to get back out there and compete. I've had myself and my mare Ashley Rondo have been out of competing for about 2 years now, which feels like a lifetime. We've had a few unofficial comps late last year, but this is our first official comp back in after feels like ages of Rondo being kind of unwell and a few injuries that kind of lingered around. She's better now. Last year was spent with getting her fitness back up, getting her strength back up, and getting her back to where I wanted her to be for competing. And she's definitely there and actually going better than before she was sick. So, and she's completely healed and everything's all great. So touch wood, we're on a high again. And it was great to be back out in the competition arena. We went to an official dressage EA comp at Werribee and I competed in the advance tests there. And we just had a really fantastic day, lots of learnings, and I thought it would be really beneficial to share with you what I learnt from the competition day on Sunday and give you a bit of an insight into what went on and where my misses were and what happened. So we rode 2 tests. The first test it wasn't as great as I was hoping. I came out a little disappointed with myself, but it was still an okay test. We came 5th. The second test was much better, and I'll explain in a moment why it was so much better and what I did differently. And I was really proud of myself, really happy with how Rondo went, and we ended up coming 2nd with 63%, and I was really wrapped. There was some there's lots to improve on still, but some really great moments in that second test, and I was really happy with my mindset and how I rode. So I want to start and give you some learning, so hopefully what I learnt will help you in your riding and competing as well. And I want to start with the lead up. I anticipated, knowing myself and my background, I anticipated that there would be some excitement and some nerves in my tummy in the lead up and the morning of. And I was actually really super surprised at how relaxed and how level-headed I was leading up to the competition and on the day. And I guess it just showed all the work I've been doing, all the mindset work, all the body meditation, and just all the work I've been doing. Even though I haven't been out competing, it's just improved my riding so much, and my relaxation, my enjoyment, and my ability to focus so much. So I actually went into the competition probably the most relaxed and most kind of chilled out I've actually really ever been. So that was a massive win for me, and it showed in Rondo's behaviour. She's a really well behaved horse naturally anyway, but she can still show tension, and sometimes can, like in environments, in warm-ups, if she hasn't been out for a while, like just a normal horse. So her behaviour was really great on the weekend, and I guess that really just shows that if I can control my mindset and my body language, it will flow through into Rondo's behaviour and how she enjoys and relaxes at competition. So I was really happy with that. That was a big win for me. Going into the first test, it's very windy today. Going into the first test, I was feeling pretty good. However, the way the test flowed and how we ended up at the end of the test compared to the start showed some flaws in what was going on. And I didn't pick up early enough, and I didn't do the right things throughout that test to get back on top of it. So what happened was, as the test went on, I felt quite relaxed as I went in, but obviously there was some tension, negative tension through my body, and obviously I was filtering it through to Rondo, because as the test went on, the trot work was pretty good actually, and it wasn't until we did the long rein walk that I really noticed that there was some tension creeping in Rondo that I wasn't quite aware of. And in the long rein walk, the free walk, she was quite energetic, and although it scored really well because she was energetic, to me I knew that it was a pretty tense walk for her. She wasn't jogging, but she was ready to go. And when I picked her up, she stayed in medium walk or collector walk, but the next movement was a halt at a rein back 4 steps and canter on. And the negative, and this is a movement she usually does super well, and it's one I feel quite confident about. However, with the tension that had crept in, when I halted, there was no immobility. She flew backwards, did about 6 or 8 steps. I couldn't get her out of it, and then once I finally got her forward, she exploded a little bit into canter, and that's fine. That's just what happens. We didn't score very well for it, obviously, but it was a massive, those kind of things are a massive insight to me that, Danielle, something is happening in your body that is creating this tension. She knows how to do this movement. It doesn't usually make her nervous. So what's going on in my body? Where am I holding? Where am I blocking? Where am I giving her a signal that she's not used to? And at the time, I still didn't quite get it right. I didn't let go. In hindsight and looking back, reflecting afterwards, I would have had to have been tight through my arms. I like to kind of cluck like a chicken, and I wasn't doing that enough. I know in my long range walk, I should have done a few more deep breaths, or actually breathe properly would have been a good start. And those things just weren't happening. So I know for my next test, so the next test time I ride the 5.3, that is something I have to work on, which is great. As the canter went on, it was okay. She stayed under control. However, we never got the relaxation back that I wanted. And by the end of the test, it felt like she was just bolting up the center line to X. Although I don't think it looked so much like that. And the judges didn't pick up on it as much as I probably thought they should have, or that it felt as bad as it didn't look as bad as it felt, obviously. But I lost her. She wasn't pushed up to the bit. She was giving me a really light feeling that I don't really like in my hand, and I just didn't have her. So that was fine. I came out a little disappointed with myself for not being able to kind of snap out of it, and even though I knew it wasn't going great, to pull myself back in line and get to where I needed. But it doesn't matter. That's what competing is all about, to go out there and practice and put ourselves under pressure and be able to get better and better. I had a little break in between my tests, which was helpful. And what I noticed before I went back into my second test was that in my warm-up towards the end, and also in my test, I was riding and looking up and looking to the next marker. And when I ride at home, and even when I ride through the tests at home, I am very much looking down at her neck. My focus zone is in a bubble, looking at her. It's actually quite a very dissociated kind of gaze I have. I'm not really staring, I'm just within my little bubble, her and me. And this works really well for me. I can stay really focused in the moment and in the zone. And I noticed that in the first test, I was actually up and looking around too much, looking for accuracy points, and it just wasn't working for me. And one day maybe that will work for me, but at the moment it's not. And it was a good insight to go, no, at home I train looking at her neck, being in a zone, like being just us two together. And so I have to ride the test like that at the moment. So I took that into my second warm-up. And by the way, it's just whatever works for you and your horse, obviously. So one day I would like to be able to stay that focused and be able to lift my eyesight up a little bit more and not get so distracted or into negative thoughts or anything like that. But at the moment it works well to be at her neck and concentrating on just her and I, and in a zone in the moment. So I went into the second warm-up and second test knowing that, okay, keep my eyesight where I naturally do and stay in that moment. As well as the other two things I was focusing on is making sure my arms were nice and soft, so the contact wasn't blocking her or creating negative tension, and making sure I was breathing, so not this shallow breath, like deep breathing, particularly when I was walking or coming up to a movement that we might find a bit challenging. And it paid off. It was a fantastic test. I was really proud of it. There's lots to improve on, but that doesn't matter. I was really happy with how I was in my mindset and how I was in my body and how she performed. She was ace. So it was a really fun test to ride, and I came out just feeling proud. And then to get the second and a pretty good percentage, I was really happy with the 63%. Was icing on the cake. So I just wanted to give you some feedback there, and I suppose get you guys thinking about what's happening in your test. Like when you ride a test, the first test, what can you pick up on and improve before you go out and ride your second test? What can you play with? Because sometimes it can be a bit long in between between competing. So sometimes it's really great to have a quick check-in and think and a bit of a work through in between your two tests if you get the option. So I'm super pumped to be back out competing. I'm back out again in a few weeks to Borneo. So excited to even take that bit further of what I learnt last Sunday and put it into practice. I'll be practicing a lot my tests on the arena here and playing around with being in the moment, in the zone, and obviously creating more relaxation in that walk, particularly that rein back, like in those scenarios. and just, yeah, have a play and see how it goes. So I hope you guys have a great week. If you're out competing and you see me out, say hi, let me know how you're going. I'd love to catch up with you when we're out and about. And I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.